What is up, everyone? Circon here, bringing you guys another review. Today we're taking a look at a tank that actually was added like a year ago or something, and I really liked it when it came out. It was the Patriot tank, and today we're taking a look at the uncamoed brother, the T26E5. It's literally the same tank as the Patriot. So if you're looking for the Patriot review, it's the same tank. All right. So the T26E5, the American Premium Heavy Tank at Tier 8, a absolute beast. All right, absolute beast, and let me tell you why. All right. This is all the base stats that you are rocking with. We got 190 turret armor, 152 hull, 76 side, which is a classic American thing where like the hull is kind of weak besides the sides and besides the front. In this case, at least, we have a 240 alpha gun at a tier 8 heavy tank, which is kind of surprising. You know, that's a pretty low amount. It's 36 dispersion. A reload time is really nice. We come together at about 2100 base DPM. We go 40 kilometers an hour with a pretty healthy power to weight on a heavy tank of 15, with a base tank traverse of 31. And we have, of course, the classic American 10 degrees gun depression and even 20 gun elevation, which is kind of nice on some maps. And this is also a really big thing, is that it has a standard Apcr Shell. So that means over 1,000 meters a second for the velocity memes, with 230, a nice, healthy, juicy 230 base pen, and almost 260 Apcr pen premium. Which what is also nice about this, and this is something that's pretty sneaky. Well, is it sneaky? Probably not sneaky. It's probably not the right word. But it has the same velocity on both Apcr shells. So that means that if you're shooting at range and you suddenly find yourself like, oh, I need a premium shell for this like VKP at tier 8 or something, then you don't have to adjust your aiming to in any degree, because you have this basically the same shell, just more pen, which is actually really nice. And the HE being such a low caliber, it's only 45 pen for 320 alpha, so it's generally not worth it outside of like shooting a Rheinmetall or decapping, basically. So you can carry like 5 or so shells. I wouldn't take more than that. So anyway, let's take a look when it's fully kitted out. We got the optics running, we got the rammer, we got the first steps. Because this thing has 390 base free range, you actually don't need the food, and you can get very, very far with 390 base free range using just recon, situation awareness, and optics. You can actually get really, really far as well. So if we remove the food, we still have 460 free range, which is very, very nice. Because if you're playing the E5, and I'll show you guys, the armor on it is actually really, really good, of course. I say actually as if it's as if it's like, oh yeah, I bet you didn't notice. But obviously we all know that the E5 or the American heavy tanks in general have really good turrets. And the reason why having such a good fuel range is because you can easily peak, even at like +2 matchmaking, +1 matchmaking, where you're facing tier 9s and 10s. You can still peak, put a shutdown range, and even if you don't put a shutdown range, you can run a cupola with this amount of base fuel range and getting up to like pretty 460 free range without food, and then with food it was like 470 or so, 479. You can easily peak and do a whole lot of spotting and assistance for the team, right? Even if you're down tiered a lot. So it's really nice to have such a good view range on a heavy tank with such good turret armor. But also the hull armor is nothing to be sniffed at. It's like 230-ish. Lower plate is like 280. Which, again, against some of the Soviet tier 7 guns is nice, but tier 8s will reliably pen your lower plate. And some of the, a lot of the tanks are getting like to the 210, 220 pen range at tier 8 already. So your upper hull is good, but you kind of need to like angle, and you cannot really rely on it. This will absolutely annihilate tier 6 and 7s like it's nobody's business. Because this armor is just enough to fuck with all, but even like like at extreme angles you can bounce a lot in the upper plate. But even frontally without angling, you will stomp tier 6 and 7s like it's nobody's business. And with all the bells and whistles on it, you're gonna reach almost 2500 DPM with an insanely good aim time of almost like 2 seconds. 34 dispersion, which is pretty damn healthy, and the soft stats on it are so good. So excellent tank. And now a lot of people are always saying like, oh, but what about the T32, man? The T32 definitely needs a buff, man. The T26E5 is so much better than the T42. And yes, it is. The T32 needs buffs, okay? But T32, if you play that a lot, and I still like my T32, the main problem with the T32 is just the base pen, all right? I'm not going to focus too much on the T32, but if you literally give it the mobility of an E5, and give a better base pen, I think it's already fixed. Because you actually have really good base DPM of almost 99, which is almost like 180 less. But you do 320 alpha, which is really, really nice. So, and especially now with the Caravan, the British Caravan, T32 definitely needs a buff, okay? There's no denying it. It needs a little bit of a buff. I would keep the 320 alpha, of course, to make it different. The turret on the T32, though, is a lot more reliable than the E5. It's just a whole lot stronger. Okay? The E5 turret is good, but sometimes you'll still have those awkward bends, and the side of your turret is really weak, where the T32 sides are still really strong. So I would definitely buff the T32, but we all know this. Also buff the Tiger 2, please. Thank you. So yeah, anyway, enough said. You basically have a tank with really good DPM, really good maneuverability for a heavy, really thick third armor combined with really thick view range, and just an overall really good tank. There's nothing really wrong with it except maybe the alpha, but with this kind of DPM, with this amount of rate of fire, a lot of like tracking shots are going to be really, really nice, because once they're out of repair kits or the repair kits are on cooldown, then you can really do some hurt, even against higher tiers. Once you start getting the tracking shots, you can get a good angle on them, so you do damage and track them at the same time. There's so many things that will melt away in front of your eyes, basically. But with all that said, guys, let's take a look at the replay, shall we? So we are here on a Siegfried line, and we have 10-5 matchmaking. So granted, before you go on a tangent or something, 10-5 matchmaking is by far the best matchmaking. If this was 10 tier 8s and 5 tier 9s, it would still be a really good matchmaking, okay? And obviously this is extremely in our favor, but they have some pretty tough cookies to fight, except for maybe the Canoniac Panzer. And they have a Lorraine, which is really good. VKP, which is insanely good. IS-3 is still a solid tank. And then Scouts are equal. And there's one artillery as well, and 10-5 matchmaking is just it's just the best matchmaking. And I'm going a little bit tryhard, as you can see. I usually don't actually run a larger bracket. I usually run a normal first 8. I'm also running full repairs, and I'm also running food. And my setup is 40, 25, and 5 HE shells. I would not take more than 5 HE shells. You really don't need them for much more than shooting the occasional Rheinmetall or Canoniac Panzer or something. So yeah, don't take more than 5, okay? We're going to be really aggressive here on Siegfried line, because we're going to use our maneuverability as a heavy tank even to just get into this pocket really, really quickly. And we hope to catch someone off guard or so. And here's our first victim, the 45 TP. And we go for the tracking shot, knowing that we're not going to do any damage. He's going to use his repair kit, and then in our reload, we're going to track him again. And then we're going to angle properly. And then we have a really bad shot here, because we only track him. But as you can see, the tier 7 heavy is just not going to bend our upper angled, and we're just going to hide behind here, and we're just going to use our DPM, and it's a good night Polish heavy tank at tier 7, right? And this is something you can do with so many tanks, and people really underestimate it, it feels like sometimes. Because the tank has been in rotation for a while now, people either forget or something, and just the double tracking is so insanely strong with this tank. And you can see that the gun handling is just really, really solid, and you just keep on firing, and reload is so nice. And we're gonna sideswipe a little bit. We don't want to enter 10 to shoot us. There's the VKP, so I'm like, alright, I don't want to fight that guy. I kind of want to fight the IS-3, and maybe even the Lorraine and this Tiger. Then the Yak Panther shows up, and we're gonna be aiming, and then the gun kind of fails us here. And sometimes it will have the will of its own, as you can see. There we go. That was not fully aimed, but still, that probably should have hit, and most times, most situations, it will. But then the next shot, you can see just the rate of fire. We're just putting fire down range here. This is just really, really good. 261. And, you know, some people really don't like the low alpha of 240, but I vibe really well with these kinds of guns on mediums and even on heavies. So this is a really dumb one, of course. We show our side, and he fences easily. He had APCR loaded as well, after he bounced the first AP shell on us. Can't really hate on him using APCR shells. It's all good, man. So Patriot 12T comes in, and then again I'm going to be trying cheeky and trying to track him. We get the tracking shot. He's at full health, so he likely still has his repair kit, but at least he uses his repair kit now, which, you know, is still a fairly long cooldown. I noticed that the IS gets shot here, and then he gets shots there again, and I'm like, okay, this is not good. But they're fixated on the IS, so I'm going to be sneaky here, try and go for tracking shots again. And that's hopefully something you'll see me do a lot here, is continuously try and get the tracking shots. We're not actually connecting the tracking shots here on the T43, and then the IS like climbs in front of us for some reason. Then we put down the T43 as well. So unfortunately we do hit the IS-6 there, which is annoying because as you can see by the bottom here, I'm trying to go for the third mark. And doing team damage is directly counteracts the damage you've done, basically. And the VKP is still lost, and then I spot the KV-13 here, trying to shoot him on the move because this Lorraine is shooting me, and I'm not quite sure what's on the left. So, trying my best to not get shot by the Lorraine, because that's a really dangerous one, right? He can pretty much clip us already now, with 4 shots, 300 damage, 1200. So if he gets average rolls, he can clip us. Get another really nice shot off here, and now I just get butchered because the artillery hits us and the cannon hits us. We snapshot and miss because that's really long range. It's almost maximum draw distance. We shoot him again. I think that one hit, and then we try to shoot him one more time. So he didn't seem really keen on moving at all. And as you can see, the VKP, I'm keeping an eye on him on the minimap, and he's just standing still there. But I'm just kind of wedged in between so many people, and the VKP shoots past me to kill the IS-6. So I'm just like, okay, we're throwing the game right now. Because even though they have we have more tanks than them, they seem to kind of have a crossfire on us. So this is where I dip into the APCR. I mean, the VKP is such a behemoth at tier 8. It's super heavy at tier 8 that is basically better than the Motion. it's pretty insane. And there's a lot of rubble there as well, so we shoot through the rubble into the sides, and he's still giving us the side there. Shoot him one more time, and he starts to angle towards us. So I'm trying to find a good shot here. I'm guessing he's behind a building. Try to go for the cupola. I'm like, okay, it's not really working. Oh, it's actually showing his lower plate. And then I think the shot went like top left or something. Well, unfortunately, our accuracy here is a bit off. And but you'll find yourself if you've played this tank, you'll find yourself hitting most of your shots here because this gun is really, really nice, even on the move and all that. So here I'm just like, all right, when you kind of need to get rid of the Cannon and the Scorpion, but then the Lorraine can come in at any moment and clip me because we took another hit from the Cannon React Fencer as well. So we are at like 834 damage, or health rather, damage. But we've racked up 4,200 damage. We're looking pretty good for ourselves here, but the team and me is kind of throwing the game because I should have made the decision. I probably should have gone for the Lorraine maybe, but then the Lorraine and VKP can just go for me. So I'm like, you know what? No one is actually actively spotting the Cannon React Fencer, and he's just wailing away at my team. We're dying left and right, and now I see the VKP on here, and I wait for him to get a side shot, thinking he'll push because he's facing an E25, and the E25 is likely not spotted. But the E25 is never gonna bend that VKP because that armor is just so insane. So I thought I maybe have a shot here through all the rubble, like literally all the rubble there. And he's the 2 shots for us with the 240 Alpha. So I'm trying to get a side shot here. Shoot him once. Try to angle as much as possible. Be hauled down. We get spotted. He doesn't give a damn. He's still aiming at the E25. And that's a really good pick-off, right? Because we don't want the VKP to still be alive and then Lorraine to basically clip us, right? So we kill the VKP. I switch back to AP, seeing as we only have to fight basically porcelain armor at this point. And we're still a man down compared to them. And again, that Lorraine is going to be the biggest hassle out of all of these. And even the Cannon Yakpanzer could be annoying now in the open field where you can very likely outspot us. And he has 268 pen or so he can easily shoot through us. So I see that the E25 is now going to go forward, and I'm like, all right, we might as well stick together a little bit. And because I'm thinking like maybe he's going to cap or something, and I can be on this hill and just shoot down on whatever is going to go for the reset on the E25, right? But I'm really worried at the same time, and I live streamed this game, and I said it at the same time that I should probably go back. Because I'm really worried that the Cannon and Yakman and the Scorpion are going to book it towards our cap and start 2-capping, and then we're going to be too slow in this heavy tank to reset. But turns out the Lorraine is still here. I do get spotted by someone, which is really, really awkward. Might have been the Lorraine, actually. But the Lorraine is still here. We missed the shot, and E25 catches on. He shoots him once, he shoots him twice, and now he's a 1-shot for us. And that's a really easy shot for our E5. We put down the Lorraine, and now things are starting to look a lot better. I still didn't get RTs, which is kind of weird. And here, I'm really worried about getting double capped by the Cannon and the Scorpion. Because both of those tanks, especially Cannon, is really, really fast. But just as I make a move back to the base, they actually go for the E25. So now I know they're both there. The E25 actually kills Economic Prince, so I guess he was on really, really low health. Maybe 1 or 2 of our shots actually connected there. And now it's just a matter of not letting the Scorpion escape to get camo again. Because this Scorpion plus the DW Panther can still wear us down. The Scorpion has pretty good heat, high velocity heat as well. So I just need to close the distance here. So I'm going to go left because he's never going to go to A6 or so. And if he tries to escape towards like the middle of the map here, like going towards E5, I should be able to catch him off guard. But he's actually still around. I loaded one HE shell. So that goes in for 333 because the Scorpion literally has 1 armor. Our scout shoots him and then I kill him for 1 damage. The Arty gets spotted, thank the Lord. He hits us for a pretty significant amount, but now he's obviously very, very dead. And we put down the DW as well. So, as you can see on the scoreboard here, we had 5,506 damage. And only 400 assistance, and we only blocked like 1 Yak Panther shot. Everything else went basically right through us with some high pen. But yeah, let's just take a look at the end game stats here. Right, so this was an ace. This thing is pretty hard to ace. The requirements on this are still pretty high. We racked up a whole lot of credits because again, it's a Halloween event at the moment in patch 1.2. Yeah, let's take a look at team score. We actually did 6,000 damage right on the dot. So 2 blind shots hit, and at least one of them went in the cannon, I believe. Yeah, we hit him once, and then I'm not actually sure who else we did hit here. Maybe someone else was hiding in front of him. I'm not entirely sure where this other shot went to. Maybe the VKP. But yeah, 6,000 damage done, 7 kills, almost 1,800 basic speed. Now, again, we were absolutely in good matchmaking, right? 10-5 matchmaking. But this is such a good game to just showcase how the tank runs, basically. Like how maneuverable it is, how well the gun behaves on your average games. Because the gun really did behave fairly average. We were just in a really long game, allowing us to do a lot of damage here. So yeah, 6,000 damage done, which amounts to 163k. Which after the ammo cost and the food cost, we still would have made close to 100,000 credits here. And with the Halloween event and a credit booster, we got double the amount of money. And after all of that, with premium, we made 250,000 credits. Now, obviously, this 250,000 is because of the event and because of the credit booster. But we still would have made 100k, like I said, without that. And funnily enough, we got lead XP as bonuses as well for running some boosters there. And again, Halloween event as well. And again, a little bit of a premium vehicle bonus thing. So we ended up getting 5,614 XP and 402 free XP, I believe that is. So yeah, really, really good game. But as you can see, the gun, we were firing at pretty long distances for the most part. We fired 41 shells, hit 34, and only penned 28. VKP and stuff is pretty much to blame for all these kinds of stats. But overall, this tank is flippin' awesome. And if I do recall, this tank, among other non-limited matchmaking tier 8 heavies, is cheaper than T34s and stuff like this. So I can really, really highly recommend this tank if you like your American heavy tanks, and why wouldn't you? Because they're pretty damn dank. I think there's pretty much not a let's see. The M6 is good. The T1 heavy is good. The M6 is good. The T29 is this god tier. The T32 needs a little bit of a buff, but it's by all accounts still a very workable tank. I personally really like the M103. I know a lot of people don't, but I really liked it. I free marked that. I free marked pretty much everything in the stack tree, so I believe I know what I'm talking about. And then the E5 is still really good as well. So if you need a crew trainer, it's really good. If you just need it for credits, it's also really good because the high base pen of the regular Apcr shells just allows you to shoot normal shells almost all the time and just make a lot of money, basically. So yeah, that was the review for the T26E5 or the Patriot. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Check out some of my other reviews. Subscribe if you haven't already. If I have, I should have a whole bunch of E5/Patriot games stream highlights as well. I'll try and find some of those and put them up on the screen right now, so you can watch those, so you can see this tank and some other matchmaking as well. I probably have a whole bunch of like underdog videos as well. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the review. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.